Welcome back to the Going Yard podcast.
The 1-1 for Tyson. Batista with a drive. Deep left field. No doubt about it.
My name is Nick Lew. I'm here with Eric and Mo, like always. It's a pretty shitty episode, boys. The Jays are in last place as we speak. I have no words right now. They're playing the Rays right now. We're getting smoked. I think score update right now is 4-2. Other than that, boys, how's it going? Eric, how's it going, man?
It's decent, man. Other than the Jays playing like shit, I've been pretty good lately.
Well, what about you, man? What's going on?
Man, it's diarrhea city out in Toronto right now. But you know what? At least the best-looking old fart is here on the diamond with you boys. I've been okay, just enjoying the summer, doing the shitty internship. And just watching the Jays struggle. But you know what? Unlike the Blue Jays, when I see grass on the field, I play ball. So hopefully they can pick things up and get it together because this is pathetic.
Well, we did see from our last episode, what we haven't covered yet was that homestand that we had, that big homestand that we had, sweeping the Braves, which was looking like a promising homestand, to say the least, sweeping the first place team in the NL East, probably one of the second hardest divisions. And then we go on to face the Yankees, not even splitting the series, and then B-More getting swept. But with the Yankees, there was a little bit of cheating going on. We saw Aaron Judge looking into the dugout, or his coach, or whatever he was doing. Now, for my take on that, I say it's cheating, but it's not cheating. And what I mean by that is cheating is something you do like what the Astros did. Electronics are involved, TVs are involved. That's cheating, in my opinion. What Aaron Judge did, it's just simply like tipping pitches, in my opinion, which is allowed. Like I always said, if you're the catcher and your signs are getting caught off from second base, hide your signs better. Now, Domingo German, that one's a little fishy in my opinion. What do you guys think about that? Or let's just that's cheating.
That's definitely cheating. Judge, good for him for picking those signs up and paying attention. And shame on the Jays for not protecting their signs. Mm-hmm. That sounds like a them problem.
Yeah. I agree. It's clearly whoever was catching at the time do a better job of hiding your like what you're calling. Now, the thing is, the Yankees made up two different stories when Judge was looking over. There was, he was looking at the first base coach, and then there was Judge who was saying, the guys were chirping me in the dugout, so I was looking in the dugout. It's like, just say you're looking at the coach if you're picking up signs from him, and you're picking them up from just reading the catcher, not actually cheating. So I don't know. Like, I don't think that he was actually cheating, but just tell the truth if you were picking up signs, because that's completely allowed.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the rule with where the base coaches are allowed to stand? Because that was the big thing too, where the first base coach was positioned. That's where Schneider was getting pretty pissed off about. I'm not on his side. The Jays are stupid for what they did, but there was something about there's regulations of where the base coaches are allowed to stand. So can you guys elaborate on that? Because that was a big story as well.
Right. I actually don't even know the specific boundaries of where they could stand. Regardless, even if they're standing right at the line, you should not be able to see the catcher signs if they're hiding them well enough. But yeah, I actually have no idea where the specific boundaries are, because if there's a player on first base, the coach is allowed to go right up to them and say something to them. I just don't think they're allowed within the foul line as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've honestly never heard of a rule for that. Out of the times I've been watching baseball, playing baseball my whole life, I've never actually heard of something like that. Apparently there is. And honestly, I think it's just, in the Jays' defense, I get why, because you kind of just saw Aaron Judge look into the dugout or look wherever, and then next pitch hit a bomb 462 feet, right? So I get the Jays being on that, but I think it was just the Yankees the Yankees in general just trying to be shit disturbers, like trying to cause shit. You know, a lot of people are saying this is a new rivalry, which, hey, man, I'm all here for. I hate the Yankees. But, yeah, like, yeah. But, you know, like, going to Eric's points, like, I have actually never really heard of it being a rule of, like, he has to be in the box. And you see the box for the first base and third base coach, but it's like you see Louis Rivera waving guys down home and they're out anyways, but still, you know, you see little stuff like that. But yeah, I didn't even know that was actually a rule where he had to be standing in that box the entire time.
No.
Yeah, I didn't either until Schneider was talking about it in the press conference. But I have a better question for you guys. Who was he calling Fat Boy? Because that was fantastic.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was seeing all over like social media, and then like everyone had the same thing. They were like, okay, John Schneider cannot talk about who's a fat boy. But people were also saying, like, I think he was saying like frat boy.
No, no,
I don't know about that.
No, it's definitely Fat Boy. You could see it plain as day.
Yeah, I think it's just him trying to throw out like a dad comeback, you know, where he just to go on and say something that's hurtful. So
mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what it is. It's just like, I feel like it's one of those classic insults. It's just going and calling someone fat, even if they're not. Like,
it's like saying your mom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like it literally is like the elementary school comeback for anything, regardless of how you're fucking built.
Yeah, but you know, moving on from Aaron Judge, we had Domingo German with his cheating, and you know, it like my beliefs are still the same with Aaron Judge. I don't believe he was cheating, but it does make it fishy when your team's telling two stories about Aaron Judge of what he saw and what he was doing, and then the very next game, your starting pitcher was literally cheating. So I don't know, like, should the Yankees be like a suspicious team to look out for right now, or?
Yeah.
I think so. They've been like exposed for cheating before, so I don't see any reason as to why after these suspicious acts, why there isn't a reason to look at them. And maybe that's just bias because we're Jays fans. Now, most of the MLB hate, like, probably agrees, because if you're not a Yankees fan, you probably hate them. But I mean, yeah, you've got suspicious activity before. This team is known for doing suspicious, sketchy shit in the past. So I don't see a reason why not to look for it now.
And this isn't German's first time either this season. Mm-hmm. He was warned in a game, and he actually was supposed to be thrown out, but he wasn't. So he got bypassed on that, and then he brings the shit back in Toronto onto the diamond, and he got his 10-game suspension as he should. But yeah, they should be on high alert because this is some fishy shit going on, man. So he's a repeat offender. Probably should have gotten more than 10 games because who was it that got suspended earlier for the
Scherzer?
Yeah, Matt Scherzer.
Yeah,
he got 10 games, so maybe German should have got 20.
Yeah, if he was caught twice, yeah.
Do we want to address the idea that it possibly could have been just rosin and sweat?
Do we want to pretend that we're stupid?
Yeah. There's a big difference between pine tar and rosin and sweat.
Right.
Did you see it on his pants in the dugout?
Yeah. I'm not saying that, you know, he wasn't, right?
Yeah.
I truly believe he was, but, you know, there's just a lot of people out there, and Eric, I know you can attest to this because people say that, you know, you mix rosin with sweat, your hands become sticky. That's one thing. And then we saw German in his pants. It was, I don't know, what could have probably been pine tar, but to him was saying was chewing tobacco. Now, is that also another case, or like, are we still sticking with pine tar here?
I mean, chewing tobacco wouldn't be sticky, and why would it even be on his pants? Like, was it on like his hands from putting it in his mouth, and then he rubbed it on his pants? Like, okay, I guess like it could stain, but like, again, it's not going to be sticky, that's for sure.
Right.
So, I don't know. I think that's just looking for any reason to get out of it.
Right.
And it would smell, too. It would also smell completely different than pine tar as well.
Yeah. We also, like, we also saw, like, even all three, was it 3 or 4, however many umps there are now, like all of them saying like it was probably like the stickiest hand they've ever seen. So yeah, I don't know how you can really escape that. You really can't. Like the whole Scherzer situation, from what I remember, the guy seemed more believable, like with it being rosin and sweat. But Herman just looked like he didn't even try to fight it. It's like he knew he was guilty. But it's like at that point, like I think it's more than a 10-game suspension.
Well, Well, like you said, Nick, if it looks like a fish, smells like a fish, feels like a fish, it's probably a fish.
It's fish.
And this was fucking fishy, so yeah.
But moving on from the Yankees, like we know we lost the series, taking 1 out of the 4. And then with high hopes, I didn't have high hopes, knowing how good Baltimore is right now. I was expecting us to lose the series, but I wasn't expecting us to get swept. So, Eric, I'm going to start with you, man. What did you think of that series?
I mean, it's
was it expected or was it not expected to?
No, I don't think that a sweep was expected. I like you said, I didn't really expect them to win the series. Although, like, especially after the Yankees series, they're coming out of that with no momentum. It's like 6-2 the first game. So the offense didn't produce and the pitching gave up runs. 6-5 the second game. So the offense did their job, in my opinion. 5 runs should always be enough in my mind. But when your pitching is donkey shit, then no. And then 8-3 the third game. I mean, that's just a fucking wash. The offense didn't come alive until like the later innings. I say come alive, and they scored 3 runs. So yeah, I think it's just, I don't know. And then you're heading into the series against Tampa, a 4-game series against Tampa with no momentum whatsoever. Again, we see right now, like, they're still losing 4-2, I believe. And it's just, I don't know. Things are looking bleak. We got the Twins after the Rays, though, so maybe a series win. But yeah.
Oh, what about you, man? What do you think about that series?
Man, this team is a dumpster fire swimming in a warm pool of piss right now. It is so cringe to watch this team. It's cringe to watch them at the plate. It's cringe to watch them pitching. I agree with you guys. I didn't expect us to win this series because Baltimore, in most categories, they're in the top 10 in the American League.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand that. They're a good team. They're a good young team. And they're hungry, man. Like, they've been the whipping boys for how long? And now the farm system is working out, and they're coming together, even though the dong bong is the stupidest thing ever. But going back to the team, they have heart. Jays don't.
It's simple. I mean, just watching them, it almost seems like they have that attitude where they have nothing to lose. So it's kind of like, I don't want to bring hockey into this. It's kind of like the Florida Panthers. Like, that's probably how they felt as well, And when you're playing like that, you're playing with house money. So, I don't know, man. Just like a couple of things to take away from that game. Like, was it the second game where we were up like 5-2 and then they came back?
Yeah.
That was embarrassing, man. That was hella embarrassing. I mean, I don't know what it is. Like, Mo, you said it yourself, this team is a dumpster fire right now. It's our pitch. I think it's our pitching. It's our offense. It's our everything, man. You have Jordan Romano coming into the game. Okay. Oh, by the way, John Schneider, with Buck Martinez and all them saying, you could tell Schneider wants to win today because we're putting Romano in early. Okay, great. Put him in early, and he gives up a fucking 3-run homer to tie the game.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, your offense can't do shit because everyone's out to lunch right now.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say it. I'm sorry, but Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is shit.
Yeah, he's been terrible lately.
He is terrible.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what he's swinging at lately.
I don't know what he's swinging at.
Away. He's hacking away.
My thick Jesus God doesn't even he's out to lunch too. He forgot that the season even started right now. Kevin Biggio, supposed to be our best base runner on the team.
Oh God!
Sliding past second base like it's nothing. Like, oh my God, man! This team is really it's testing me right now, and I hate to have doubts right now, saying, are we even going to make the playoffs? Because it's early, but you can't even say it's early still. Like, we're almost in June.
I don't think that saying that saying that they might not make the playoffs is unrealistic. You're in the best conference and by far the best conference in baseball right now. I don't care what anyone says. If you're a National League person, if you're a fan of another AL East team, your division is half of what the AL East is right now. They're last place in the strongest division right now, and they're playing teams who are all riding off momentum. They're playing against. They just got beat 3-1 by the Yankees. They got swept by Baltimore. Now they're probably going to get curb stomped by fucking Tampa. It's like, I don't know, man. It's not looking good. Like, they might finish better than the Red Sox, but right now I'm starting to think, no, they're not going to end up doing better than the Yankees by the end of the season.
Yeah. The way they're playing, they could finish last place and Luke would have the last lap, but that's a world I don't want to live in, so I'm not going to think about that right now. But guys, you were talking about the entire team. I think it starts with the man at the top, John Schneider.
I was about to get to that.
I want to ask you both, is it time to let him go?
It's time to bring in big boy Donnie into the managerial position. I'm sorry, like, the stuff that he's been doing, it's like he's trying too hard, in my opinion. And I remember hearing something where, is Schneider out there putting his bullpen pitchers in to win, or is he putting them in there to conserve like their energy and their pitches? Because to me, that's what I see. Like, I'm sorry, if you got a guy in your bullpen that is probably one of your best relievers, and I get it, he probably pitched 3 games in a row, but if he's the only one that's producing right now, that's his fucking job, right? And it's like, you can't be thinking, like, especially when you're on a 6-game losing streak right now. And I get you want to do everything, like, to win, do whatever you can to win. But, like, man, some of his decisions just are really questionable. And just going back to, like, Game 3 of the Baltimore series, how do you forget it's your second mound visit already?
Oh, yeah, that was huge brain fart. I think he's over his head. I just think he's over his head right now.
Yeah,
that's to my point, is that, like, this guy's, like, trying too hard.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Like, I'm like, obviously you want your manager to try, but like, it's like, just chill out and just go the easy route.
Yeah, I think that it's a lot of pressure. He was kind of just thrown into this position that he was in because obviously when Montoya got fired, it was kind of like, okay, you're just taking over. And I'm sure that he probably wasn't even really expecting to be the guy, like the manager, for this season. So I think that's exactly what it is, Nick. He's trying too hard, and it's clearly costly. I think they need a guy with experience as a manager. That's just what it is.
Yeah, but some people aren't meant to be managers. Like, there are bench coaches, there are, other types of coaches, strength coaches, scouts, whatever. But doesn't mean they're meant to lead. And maybe he's just not meant to lead. He was what did he? Was he the hitting coach before?
He was the bench coach.
He was assistant coach, basically.
Okay, so maybe he's just really suited for an assistant role over this because he clearly overthinks things. It goes back to the playoffs. Why did you take Gausman out in that game? Gausman, let him finish the inning. Gausman is a stud. We know what he can do. Instead, you go and bring, was it Meza?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it was Meza.
Fuck shit up, and we got swept by Seattle. And I feel like from that game, it's brought onto this season, the morale, the energy, and just maybe Schneider's not right for the job. I just think they need to do something quickly before the season's a wash.
Yeah, and it's going back to like what we were saying about him overthinking. Like, you brought up the wild card game, and why did he bring in Meza? Well, it's because he wanted the lefty on lefty matchup, but the guy was a switch hitter.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like right there, I already know you're in your mind. You wanted the lefty lefty matchup, forgetting that he's a switch hitter. Took you deep, and then you lost the game. And I literally had it in my head where there was another scenario, something along the lines. But yeah, like you mentioned leadership, Mo, and it's like that's why we have Don Mattingly there. And I was saying it like at the beginning before the season started on this podcast. I said like he's definitely there for when Schneider fucks up, he's going to take a spot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do we just let Schneider continue this disaster class throughout the season, or do we just bring up Mattingly now?
Yeah, no, I don't see a reason why you'd keep Schneider at the managerial position. Do I think that he should be gone from the Blue Jays organization? No, I think maybe you put him back to the position he was in before. And, I like the idea of Mattingly being the manager because he's a little more old school. He'll leave starters in for as long as they can really go instead of taking them out when, they've thrown 85 to 90 pitches, which really is not that many if it's been 7 or 8 innings in. No. So I kind of want to have a little bit more, a slightly more old school guy managerial. And he's not so old school that it's going to be like, he's making like outdated decisions. So
yeah, I don't know. It's like this team just got me like so frustrated this whole weekend. I don't know, like even we were saying our offense is dog shit too. I don't think there's one good hitter right now.
Well, okay, other than Bo.
Bo Bichette's been pretty good.
Yeah.
So compared to when he first started getting hot, he's simmering down a little bit.
He's still leading in home runs, average RBIs. He's still doing way better than like everybody else.
Yeah, I would say if anyone's come down to earth, it's Matt Chapman.
Oh yeah, okay, Matt Chapman.
Yeah,
Vladdy's struggling. Witt's back to
he's slowing down.
Having a mid, like he's okay.
He did just hit a 2-run home run.
Yeah, he just swatted a home run. But you got to look at other guys on this team who just suck. Dalton Varsho.
Yeah.
How are you batting 206?
Yeah.
206. And you have Gabriel Marino, who's hitting over 300, along with Lourdes Gurriel. And they're both putting up.
Don't bring up that trade.
This is why I said you can't trade them both for one guy.
I said it from day one. They never should have gotten rid of Moreno. And the thing is, they get rid of Moreno, and look how fucking camel-ass their catchers are. Kirk sucks, and Jansen sucks.
Well, okay, wait. Jansen actually, okay, he's...
For his standards.
For right now, he's the only one that's hitting, kind of.
But his standard is so low that it's like that's why you think he's playing well. He's hitting 202 with 5 home runs. At the end of the day, that is terrible. But it's just because he is so bad that is good. Yeah. And he's good behind the plate. I will give him that. He is a good catcher.
Yeah. Randy Rosarina just hit a home run.
Yeah.
It was 5-2.
Another
reason why this team is absolute dog right now, man. It's I don't know.
We could look at Brandon Belt's hitting 250 now. Ooh.
Oh, I mean, honestly, that's a pretty big improvement from what he was at. I'll give him that. And Springer's started to hit a little better. He was at 210, I believe, in our last episode. He's at 239 now.
Springer's dog shit right now too. I'm sorry for a lead.
Yeah, he's still.
He is for what we got him for. Yeah, he's playing terrible.
You just reminded me of another point of why Schneider's dog with his decisions. Remember that series with Philly, I think?
Last week.
Yeah, and then he pinch hit whoever for Springer, who came up with like basically an IV fucking bag with him. Guy was sick as hell. Why would you pinch hit a guy that's sick right now?
I don't know.
Like, this is what I don't get. What are we doing?
Do we give Schneider this road trip because they got 4? I think they got 4 against Tampa and 3 in Minnesota.
And 3 against Minnesota.
Yeah, and then who do you know who they play after that?
Let me check quickly. I think it should be another. It's the Brewers next
in Milwaukee.
No, in Toronto.
Oh, in Toronto. Okay, so do we give the road trip? Do we give Schneider the end of the road trip?
For me, if our record is at 500 flat, something needs to be done.
After Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say
I agree. I agree with that too. I think and the thing is, after the Brewers, like they have the Mets and then the Astros. So they don't have an easy road ahead of them right now. I mean, okay, the Twins, I don't know how they're okay. So they're leading the AL Central with, I mean, at fucking 25 and 22. Their record's the same as the Jays because that conference is terrible. But then with Milwaukee, Milwaukee's 25-21 leading the NL Central. Also, sorry, I need to mention the Pirates are going back to their regular selves at 20.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the old Pirates.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I think they just smacked them around, brought it back to reality.
Yeah, back to the topic of discussion. Yeah, I think I agree with Nick. I think if they're 500 after the Twins series, 500 or below, then yeah, they have to make the call to.
Sorry, if you hear things that sound like gunshots in my background, it's not
fireworks.
Fireworks at 8:15, and it's
a little early.
That's what I mean. Good job.
A little early.
It's Victoria Day in Canada right now, so that's why that would be happening.
Yeah, but go ahead.
I just want to say there's one positive that I want to mention is Chris Bassett has looked phenomenal.
Well, not today, but
not today.
Not today. Yeah, not today. But otherwise, I think he's a guy that I mean, I think it's now between him and Gausman battling for possibly the ace position because Manoah's a wash. Kikuchi's kind of just the middleman. I can't even fucking think. Barrios, because I swear I don't even know what he's doing anymore.
Okay, so since we're talking the pitching staff, can we address the pitching staff?
Yeah.
Let's talk Alek Manoah, the so-called ace. A man who has no confidence whatsoever. Like none. There's been articles floating around, and Nick, you're at Sportsnet, so I'm sure you've heard it, sending him to the minors to readjust. I want to know in detail from both of you, because you both play ball, you've both been around ball all your lives. Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this will help him regain his confidence?
I mean, his stats are depressing, man. 1-4, 5.15 ERA, 40 strikeouts in 40 innings. Oh, man. When is Ryu scheduled to be back?
July.
It's not even guaranteed, but July.
Right.
Yeah, like Nick said, mid-July.
Mid-July, so roughly about 2 months, maybe a little less, if that is when he is coming back. Yeah, I think, oh man, it's really tough to say. Because and we're saying, would we wait till Ryu comes back to do that? Or
they're saying right now.
Nate Pearson.
Yeah.
Have Nate Pearson step in. He's looked okay. He hasn't been phenomenal.
Okay.
But it's okay.
And you know what? I say give it one start, maybe 2 more starts. And if he is still not good, then I think that might be the right decision. But I think you got to give him 1 or 2 more starts. Maybe I'm being lenient as well because I know what he's capable of doing. But I don't know, because even his last loss, it wasn't bad. He gave up 2 runs. I don't even think that he actually got labeled for the loss.
No, well, Schneider fucked up too and went to the mound the second time.
Yeah.
You have to leave, but
yeah,
they're not hitting, but they don't hit around him either.
No.
And he's not dominating. The velocity's down. He's walking a lot of batters. He has, how many walks does he have? He has
more than I think he's ever had now.
Yeah, 33 walks this season.
Yeah, that's terrible. And the thing is, that ultimately ends up affecting the rest of the team. Is people don't understand how important it is when a pitcher steps on the mound and they haven't been playing well lately. That deteriorate. Jesus, whatever. That lowers the confidence. I can't even speak right now. That deteriorates the confidence of the other players on the team.
Yeah.
It's the guys on defense are going to be they might be thinking here we go, Manoah's starting again, kind of thing.
Yeah, in a way, the way I see it, it's really hard to set him down in the minors right now because, one, he was labeled as your ace, which we know he's not. He had a Cy Young year basically last year, even though, it wasn't the case. But I don't know, like Eric said, man, if you set him down in the minors, you're basically telling the whole team that we're fucking done this season.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically saying that. You're basically saying we're throwing in the towel. This season's a waste. Get ready for next season. Now, you know what? It could be a stretch of what I'm saying, but it has that factor. It's kind of like when Schneider took out Eric Swanson in the 8th inning to put in Romano. You just killed Swanson's confidence right there. Because you basically told him, hey, man, I don't trust you to get out of this. I want to put in my closer to win this game. And we didn't fucking win the game. You know? So, in a way, it's kind of like, it's really hard to send down a guy like him to the minors. I honestly would say no. Just because it's like, you send him down, and then, like you said, who do you put in? Like, Nate Pearson?
Mm.
But it's like, I've seen that guy start. The guy can only go 3 innings. Who knows if that's the case anymore, right? But it's it's hard to take gambles like that when we are fighting to stay out of last place. Now, I get if we were like 20 games back from first place, you know, then fuck it, experiment, whatever. But right now, it's not even like we're below 500. We would be in first place in the AL Central. We have a hard division to compete in, but it's like, I don't know. It's a little early to have that mindset, like, you know, like, put him down in the minors, fuck everyone else, and like, let's just try and regroup. And like, we're losing that winning mentality. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He just doesn't have the same stuff. He doesn't look like the man. He doesn't. His velocity is down. The command is down. The confidence is way down. He was way more confident last year, and even his rookie season. You saw the swag, you felt it. I think the team picked up on it too. And this season, when he's out there, he's a shell of himself. Mm-hmm. So I just think if that continues, like, how long do you leave him out there? He's still a 25-year-old prodigy, right? Mm-hmm. He still has time to grow, and sometimes you have to fall flat on your, maybe not on your ass, but fall before you can get back up.
Yeah.
Get yourself up and get back out there. Remember who you are. I just think he just looks different, and it's at the expense of the team too. I know you're saying it seems like, okay, we're throwing in the towel. I don't think so. I think because you have the options of putting someone in the minors for a couple of games and you bring them back up, I think that shows that you care about the player.
Yeah.
You want the best for them. So maybe if he dominates in the minors, he gets that swag back and he comes back and he remembers, I'm Alek Manoah, one of the best top 10, 25 and under year old pitchers in the MLB. You know what I mean? Like, right. I don't think it could hurt, but I understand what you're saying in terms of team morale. They're trying to win still. I don't know, man. He just needs to pick it up because I can't trust him. I trusted every start he made last year. I can't trust him.
Yeah.
It's just hard because it's like, I agree with you on that, Mo. It's just hard because it's like we're in last place right now. You need to start winning, right? And it's like, I would get this if you're in second place, third place. Yeah, sure. But it's like, you're in last place, man. Get your shit together. Mm-hmm. Like, how are we in last place right now? We got swept by Baltimore. Go way back, we got swept by Boston, and that gave them momentum, by the way. And then all of a sudden, they went on a fucking tear.
Big time. Yeah, swept by
big time. And
also, this is something I just came back to me. It's like, we're not versing teams in our divisions like we used to anymore. The next time we see the Yankees is like September, or Tampa, the Yankees. So it's like, it's hard to make up ground if you're not facing the teams in your division already. So it's like, when you're in last place, you need to win. Having these half games like being won doesn't matter really, you know, where it's you play Yankees, you play Baltimore, you play Boston. These are full games that you're going to take over. And when we're getting swept by those teams, it's hard, man. It's just, this fucking team has got me so depressed, man. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to make up ground. Oh, Oriole, be quiet. It's hard to make up ground. When you're not playing those teams as often as you used to. So I just really hope that, you know, maybe they're probably not going to win this game, but maybe they take 3 or 4, you know, go on a little roll against Minnesota, and maybe it's different, right? Like a week can change a lot, but I can't watch this team right now. It's very dreadful.
It's hard, man.
Yeah, it genuinely is hard for me to be like, I want to put on. I honestly, if I'm going to be completely honest, I didn't watch any of the Baltimore series. I was watching an PGA championship this weekend. Like, I hadn't, after the Yankees, I'm like, I can't watch this team anymore. Like, I can, but like, it's hard for me to be like, there's another sport on that I enjoy. I'm going to put on the Jays who suck right now. Like, it's hard for me to do that because I don't like seeing them lose, man. I don't.
Yeah.
It's almost like killing yourself softly and slowly watching them play.
Yeah.
Because they'll get on a little roll and then Schneider will do something stupid or Bo will throw away the ball like he always does.
That is, but the thing is, it's so true. It's like they could be playing well and then there's one mistake or one change that is made that makes the game. Sorry, I almost was going to rant about Bo as well, but I don't even have to. Anyone who's a Jays fan listening knows we don't need to say any more about him defensively. But yeah, it's tough. This team is just self-imploding. Like, that's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, we got one of the hardest schedules in the league right now. Probably going to lose this game against Tampa tonight.
Yep.
Like you said, we got Minnesota, who's technically in first place, but has the same record as us. So I still think it's going to be a dogfight with them because we are struggling hard right now.
Yeah.
And they never play well in Minnesota.
No. So
is that Aston Martin guy? Is he with the big club? Because if that trade bites us in the ass, the one for Barrios, I'm going to be super pissed after this episode.
Every trade bites us in the ass with Toronto sports, not even just the Jays.
Not the Kawhi one. The Kawhi one got us a chance.
Okay, yeah. That was the last one where it worked. Everything else. By the way, if you're a Leaf fan, we got eliminated.
Okay. Okay, though. Yeah, we did, and Eric was loving life to the fullest, celebrating. He basically went outside and started waving the flag and burning it and pissing on it after. We know.
Listen, I would never do that. That's too disrespectful in my opinion. As much as I don't like them, I would never burn or piss on the flag. As much as I'd want to, that's too. As a true sports fan, I could never disrespect another team's flag like that. But yeah, I'm thrilled about it. Yeah, I mean, the last standing Toronto team right now, the Blue Jays. Yeah,
isn't dead last.
Yeah, in classic Toronto fashion.
I will say though that that Kachuk goal in Game 2 against Carolina was just mint.
Oh, perfect.
Just like basically walking off. I've never seen a hockey walk off before in my life.
Yeah.
That was sweet.
Man.
I guess, again, I know this is a baseball podcast, but who do you guys want to win the Stanley Cup and the NBA Finals as well?
None. All the teams are garbage. Well, maybe Denver. I'll go Denver.
I kind of want Denver.
Yeah, I want Denver.
Jamal Murray, Canadian boy.
Yeah.
But everything else, I could care less. Fuck the Stanley Cup, and to a lesser extent, fuck the NBA Finals.
Yeah, honestly, for me, this is the worst Final Four I've ever seen in fucking NHL.
I don't even watch hockey anymore, and I know that it is like probably one of the worst ones
dog
ever.
Shit, man.
How the fuck is Dallas in the
conference finals?
Conference finals right now. Yeah,
I don't. It's Gary Bettman, man. That fucker just likes his American teams.
Yeah.
And you know what? Going back to your question, you know what? Fuck it. I would love to see Florida go to the Stanley Cup Finals, just because of that Cinderella story.
I want them to. Yeah,
just because they barely made the playoffs and then they come in and Boston choke because I fuck Boston. I hate Boston. And so like they choked the 3-1 lead, then they absolutely just ran through us, and then now they're running through Carolina. I love that. Moving on to the NBA, I hate LeBron, so
LeBron.
Go Denver. But Himmy Butler, I want him to win.
I want them to sweep Boston. I hate the Celtics. I want them to sweep them so bad. Fuck Marcus Smart, you're a bum. Jason Tatum, okay, he's pretty good, but
he's
like
pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Jason Tatum has too many baby curls, man. Get a man haircut.
Yeah. No, I would love to see Miami sweep the Celtics. They fucking suck. I'm happy that Philly's out. Fuck the 76ers and Joel Crybaby.
Embiid, he can kick rocks.
That team is in trouble. Like James Harden already wants to go back to Houston, and Embiid's a crybaby, man.
Doc Rivers.
Doc Rivers. He might be a Raptor, bro.
No, they talked to Steve Nash today.
Thank God. If Doc Rivers is on our team, Toronto sports is in shambles.
Never watching a Raptors game again.
Doc Rivers is cursed when it comes to the playoffs. No way.
The Tampa Bay Devil Rays just hit another home run.
The Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
It's 6-2, gentlemen. It is 6-2. This team is in absolute shambles right now.
Still one of the ugliest jerseys. I don't care what you and your friends say.
Oh,
screw the Rays. The Devil Rays. Blech.
Anyways, man, we're going off topic with fucking Doc Rivers, Toronto Maple Leafs.
Because you know what? Because we don't want to talk about the Jays. That's why.
It's off the rails right now, man.
Yeah.
Okay, but Doc Rivers. Okay, I hope you're listening to this because you've got some time in your hands now. But lotion up those voice cords, man. Why do you gotta sound so fucking ashy? Like, seriously, no one wants to listen to an ashy motherfucker.
Sounds like he's been smoking Marlboros since day one. You want a pack of cigarettes?
Oh, man. See, this is what happens when the Jays are in last place, man. We end up talking about Doc Rivers, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oh, by the way, Kyle Dubas is out of here, too. I don't know about you, Mo, but I'm happy about that.
Well, when a man commands $6 to $7 million and wants more control and he hasn't done shit in 5 seasons, get the fuck out of here.
He screwed himself over, too. Like
big time, man. You just left the Mecca. You left the Mecca.
I know.
You thought you were too good and too great for this organization. You did some good things, but you didn't do anything great.
No.
So get the fuck out of here.
Like, people are saying, like, oh, my God, that, like, the Leafs are in absolute shambles. I'm like, guy, you're talking about the guy that's been here for, like, almost for 9 years, just made it past the first round, and signed Justin Hall for 5 years.
I
can't, man.
Enough said.
Bro, we're going off the rails right now with this podcast. We got to get back on track, but honestly, I think that just really covers it from having a good-looking week with the Braves, having a shitty, gay series with the Yankees, and then just getting obliterated by the Orioles. So I think this is just going to do it for this episode. Like I said, Tampa's up 6-2 right now. It's not looking good. The boys are in shambles. The Jays are in shambles. For right now, this is going to be it till the next episode. If you want to follow our TikTok, Instagram, we're going to be a little bit more active on Twitter as well. You can go follow that. It's at the Going Yard Pod or the Going Yard Podcast. Subscribe on YouTube, give us a rate on Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasts. But for now, guys, any last words before we go into deep depression again?
I think I've shared enough for today.
I'm just going to do a little personal shout out to Gooby. If you don't know what that is, go all the way back to Wow and Mustard. You can figure that out. But it's not about him. We got Show Us Your TDs. That's about to drop soon, about the draft and stuff. I know you were happy about the draft results for the Steelers.
Yes.
And I know Nick is super happy that Lamar is the highest paid quarterback as a Baltimore Raven.
To be honest, I'm mixed about it, but I'm mixed.
No, that Zay Flowers wide receiver is sick, though. So he actually has left for the first time.
Yes.
So check that out. It's on NA30. It's a decent network. It's not as good as this podcast, but you check it out. We're everywhere. And I think we just should make Alejandro Kirk's pants and split. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we should definitely end it off on that.
Fuck off. Yeah.
Well, this has been the Going Yard Podcast, and we'll see you next time.